welcome back to my channel, and nice to see you again. Today we are going to talk about 7 market presumptions that you have to know before you really invest in the real estate in Cambodia and Phnom Penh, because I'm now currently in Phnom Penh and I have already stayed in for quite a few time that I take a lot of time to research and get information about this market. So I'm very happy to share with you guys my research result and my thinking and the important 7 factors I think everyone should know about this particular market, because as you know, when you enter into a different market, every market is different and it has its own specialties, its characters, and their special facts behind. I would like to do this video to give you guys an overall picture of that in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. So let's talk about the land itself, the land rights and the laws, regulations about land itself in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. First of all, excuses for the lightning and the sound. It's raining hard outside now. Let's come back to the land. So it's actually surprising to me that when I find out it's only in 2001 when Phnom Penh, Cambodia established its modern system of its land. So after 2001, and they have their ownership of land system. Another important point is that foreigners cannot own any land in Cambodia. So how they treat foreigners and locals are different. Land itself can only owned by locals. But however, does that mean that you cannot invest in the land or even the houses in Cambodia? It's not, and later on we'll get into that in detail. And the second factor that I wanted to point it out is the distinction of the real estate market here. The distinction in the residential real estate that you can invest in and most investors are interested in. So they are basically houses versus condos. For people who are already familiar with this concept, might came from, let's say, US, because the US already have this distinction. But for investors, for people from China, you might not understand it because here they distinct houses versus condos. Well, houses is the structure that constructed on the land that only the locals can buy and can trade, and the foreigners basically can only trade or buy or own condos in Cambodia. That will draw our point to if you as a foreigner ever want to buy the land and houses in Cambodia, the only way is to cooperate with the locals and through corporate structure. Basically, you can establish incorporate a JV, means corporate with local together, and use this structure corporate to own the land and to own the houses here, and that's the legal way to do it. And that's how you can even tap into the land and housing market in Cambodia. But for condos, it's not complicated, and you don't have to do any of this corporate and legal structure work. For condos, I would like to later on show you guys about different projects in Phnom Penh that I think is worthwhile to see, to have an idea. They are mainly in 2 categories. So one is have very, very good locations in all the city centers and downtowns, have everything, but relatively definitely this is like a higher priced condos, while they enjoy the best location. Second type is a growth market, so they are in the best growing regions in Phnom Penh. The prices will be relatively cheaper than the downtown, and has a lot of growth potential. Basically, I want to later on show you different projects about these 2 types, and hope you enjoy it and can have getting a real sense of it for my later on videos, and please keep an eye on that. Please stay tuned for that if you're interested. I'll guarantee you it's pretty beautiful. It's pretty interesting to look at. We come back to this houses versus condo point. So for the condo here, I would define it, or the ones that I'm going to show you later on, such as, let's say, Le Condé in their city center, Peninsula, Morgan Mason, View Aston, the Prince Huanyu. So all of those condo projects. So all of those condo projects, why I choose them is because at least they all have pretty modern decorations and renovations and structures and like reasonable products of a residential condo, and they have the common room for gym, a shared, like high-end shared gym for in apartment and the condos for everyone to use, and they all have swimming pool too. So sufficient swimming pool that can allow enough people to use, like the whole condos people to use it. Some of the bad projects, they have limited swimming pool, while a lot of buildings, a lot of people, that actually doesn't really meets the number that they built. But those ones I picked are reasonable in that. And some of them, like more luxury, the high-end condos in Phnom Penh, all have sky bars. So they would put the topest floor, reserve it for sky bars, and they would put the lower floors as commercials, as some would be shopping malls, some would be just restaurants and shopping shops. So a condo here is basically structured as the lower floors are commercial, while the middle and to the high floors are all residential, and on the top floors and somewhere top usually are the swimming pool without any barrier, very nice, and the sky bars. So there are mostly those kind of products for condos. The third point would be the layouts. So the layouts here are similar to the condos in other places. So I would say it's, first of all, definitely studio. Second, 1 bedroom. Third, 2 bedroom. Usually 2 bedroom is most practical and useful for most families. And 3 bedrooms and 4 bedroom, etc. Like X bedrooms, basically. As I said, the most popular would be either studio or 2 bedroom because they're just more practical. Studio and more suitable for single, for one person, like young people living, while 2 bedroom would more suitable for family as always. And for more than a bedroom, which means like for 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, they all sometimes have loft structure, which is like I would say way more nice than just a single floor. Well, usually how they show their usually how they show their sample houses. Usually how they show their sample condos are limited layouts, because they just build the most popular layouts to show people, and I will show you guys around in the later on videos. And for showroom samples, it's not covering all of the layouts. So they have pretty much layouts for you to choose from. The fourth factor is their currency and financial system. So in Cambodia, what currencies do they use? They use USD. They use USD and also their own local currency. However, to my surprise, they do use USD as their commonly used currency, and they are the only country in Asia that who use USD as common capital and common currency, which is very convenient for the USD investors. However, I wouldn't say it's convenient for RMB investors, because let's say like for Chinese investor, they need to adjust their foreign exchange risk into this. Another point that worth mentioning is that they don't have capital control. So the USD and the money can flow freely cross border and beyond the country's boundary. Why I say that is because, as you guys know, like China has very strict capital control rules and financial system. USD can never flow freely, or RMB cannot flow freely into or outside China, and how quickly the money flow can be a big factor in investment. And the fifth point, I would like to draw attention to the GRR. GRR is a very special concept here. I've never heard it anywhere else. It stands for guaranteed rate of return. How do you think, or how do you feel when you hear this term? Basically, for the real estate here, when you buy a condo as a foreigner here, you get the guaranteed rate of return. After you get your condo, for the next, let's say 3 to 5 years, the developers will give you let's say maybe 8%, 7%, 8% yearly return for guaranteed after you have the condo for 3 or 5 years. Are you attracted and interested in this GRR concept? It sounds very good and very attractive. But however, when you really think about it, it just sounds discounted cash flow for me. It doesn't sound like something like, it sounds more of a fancy term of sales strategy for me, because when you think it back, it's actually just the price the future cash cost into the current point. This is what this concept is. Let's let me give you an example. If this discounted cash flow is a bit complicated for you guys, let me give you an example. How I see it is, let's suppose this house is $1 million. Then let's suppose every year the cost of the money itself is 10%, which means like if I'm a developer, I can get this capital to run and gaining 10% per year on this. Then let me calculate a bit. So for the first year, let's say you get a house for $1 million, and for the second year, in my head it would be 110. $1 million and 10, 1.1 million. So the third year will be 1.21 million, and fourth year is 1.331 million. For the fifth year is 1.4641 million in my head. So basically, how the developer says is like, I'll sell you this condo and the price is 1.4641 million is the price, while I'll give you a guaranteed return for 5 years, for each year 10%. And actually to the developers, it's just $1 million for the price currently. Do you understand this concept? Are you following me? Let me repeat it again. So if I'm the developer and this price, the real price currently at this moment when I handled you the house is $1 million, I would say the price of this condo that I'm selling you is 1.4641 million, and you can take it with this price, and I will give you 5 years guaranteed return of 10% each year. That is covering my cost for the next 5 years, which is called guaranteed rate of return. Well, however, as a buyer, this house or this condo, the effective price is worth a million, but you are buying at 1.4641 million for the next 5 years guaranteed return of 10% per year. That's the game here. And sixth point I would like you to know, sixth point I want to draw attention is the language here. So beside their local language, their pretty common language that you can see on the street and on the for the all developers for their sales usually are English and Chinese. So they all cover 3 languages. So I would say for definitely for English speakers, it won't be problem here because you can get all communication and quotes and everything through English here. And also for the Chinese investors, the Chinese, not that like no need to worry as well. It's also pretty common for people who are sales here and who work in Cambodia can speak Chinese. So the language is also not a big problem here. Now let's come to our last point, which is the price transparency. Here, overall, the market does not have price transparency. They don't show the transparent public price. It takes a lot of efforts to get the information of price. Well, for all developers' official marketing materials and online public information, there's no public official prices of each layout. And definitely you will find the prices for the real estate website here for the public prices, but they are not accurate. I would like to remind you, they are not accurate, totally not. So usually what they provide is the cheapest price to attract potential investors. They don't give the real prices of all the layouts. That's not very convenient. And the only way to get it is to go to the the developer's own sales department, and they will give you the sales number with a lot of, as I've told you, the GRR stuff and lots of wording and thinkings about those sales techniques, which, well, I'm very sensitive and have my own thinking and analysis on that. But I totally understand it's hard for a lot of people. Not everyone can get effective information from them. And besides directly from the developers, the real estate agent here can also give you all the prices. However, because of the real estate market here is not transparent compared with, let's say, US or even China, here is totally not transparent. So all the numbers that the agent gives you are I wouldn't say it's all reliable as well. It depends on how this agent is, their professions, how professional they are, and how professional their companies are, the companies that they work for. And I feel at least I would say the developers and the real estate companies, agencies, they definitely cooperate with each other, and they have private contracts that they can kind of control the prices on the market. So because it's generally in this industry, it's just very hard to get all the transparency informations. You cannot take it for granted for any prices, any information they give you, no matter it's from the agent or from the developer sales department. They are very good at sales, trust me. Their sales techniques are very good. It's really hard for the investor and buyer side to in this position. And I do think it's partially the indicators of in the longer run, because it's usually an indicator of a not mature market, lack of regulation market. It's a usual, or it's a common phenomenon in such market, and you can't blame the industry on that, right? Remember, only in 2001 they have like officially established the ownership of land, the regime in the country. Well, in summary, let's have a very quick summary to go over the key points here. Overall, I would say non-farm real estate market in Cambodia has big opportunities, despite it also has big risks. Let's see the risks repeated. First, their treatment of foreigners. So foreigners can only buy condos basically, and here, unless you structure a corporate structure. Second, the payment terms here is not very good, so require you have a lot of like cash flow requirements. You have to, you cannot get good loan terms here, and hard to access to loan capital. That the payment term is relatively like not good compared to mature market. Third, the transparency of the price in the real estate market here is generally low, and generally hard and difficult to find out the truth and compare. And an additional point to the risk includes oversupply in the market. I would not be surprised to see every year there will be new condos coming out in the market. And when walking on the street, you can always see condos buildings, constructions going on. So in the next few years, at least, it's gonna be oversupply in the market. At the meantime, it means there will be a wide selection, as every year there will be new product coming in the market. But also, I want to draw your attention to the opportunities here. All the bigger the risk is, which means in the meantime, the bigger the return and the bigger the opportunity is. So what I would say, first, it's really like 20-30 years ago in China. So let's just see like how China grows in the past 20 or 30 years. And as a Chinese and as being growing up in China, I would say I'm telling you guys here has like big opportunities. It just like 20 years ago in China, a big opportunity. Second, Phnom Penh is the capital city of Cambodia. Just go and look at the capitals of each countries, no matter in Asia or not. Capital. So I'm less worried about the population growth and the young people inflow here, as this is just the capital. Third, the absolute number of price of the real estate market here are relatively low. So you will find the condos very cheap here compared with what you can get the similar products over the world. No matter this product is in, let's say, no matter in Asia or in US or in other Western countries, you will find the absolute price here is definitely very low. It's hard to find the similar quality of products anywhere else in the world with the same price. So have a lot of potential to grow and price increase. Fourth is, as all the condos are built currently in a modern way, so the construction is modern. It's not like 100 ago built houses. They usually have like good, I would say, infrastructure with it, including the services, including the hardware, including the swimming pool and the gym, and those hardwares are pretty good, like modern construction. Lastly, they have a lot of choices or various products in the condo market. You can easily find city view and high-rise and condo. High-rise condo with a good city view. You can also easily find a river view. As you know, Nanfan is in the crossing and has two big rivers. 湄公河和这个湄公河和洞里萨河 but well, check the English name, but they have two very big rivers crossing, and also like other smaller rivers derived out of them. So you can easily find a river view, beautiful high-rise condo modern building as well. A lot of variety and choices. For all the US investors, as we know that you have experienced such a crazy growth and market in the past few years in US in the right location, it's definitely beneficial to keep an open eye on the other market in the world as well, especially the growth market. So it's time to kind of consider a little bit of allocation of small portion maybe in some growth area instead of some mature area, because as we all know that such growth, like it's like steep growth in the US market, is not going to continue forever. You're not going to see another like steep growth because of the Fed and the money printing to happen again in the near future. So it's good and it's wise to keep an open on what's going on in the other market as well, and kind of consider from an investment perspective or like a self-living perspective more of the options and more of the conditions of the market. And I hope me and my videos can take you guys to see all those what's going on in the options, and can provide more valuable information here. I think that's pretty much for today's topic and today's content. If you have any questions or any comments, please feel free to leave it down below, and I'll check it, and I'm happy to communicate with you guys too. And if you have any thoughts or would like more information on that, you can also contact me, reach to me via email. I usually check email and I respond by email. Please subscribe if you like my contents and you think my information are useful, and I hope so. I will continue to do those type of videos and information sharing if you guys can support me. Thank you very much for watching today's my video, and I'll see you next time. Welcome and stay tuned for my channel, and see you guys soon. Bye. If you would like to know more or are interested in the details, you may click the above video link, or you may search my previous videos.